Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to continue on with my Roxy Journal of Stitchery project, field notes. And first of all I need to show you my finished page in the journal. So let me zoom up a little bit because I think I'm a little bit close. There we go. So I've added the page completed to the book. So now what did I do after I left you guys? Oh, I added this. So I had a cluster of bits and bobs up the top here, and I found a picture of some little toadstools. So I popped them on a little piece of fabric. Actually, it was a bit rust-dyed fabric, so you can see little pops of orange to the side of the image, and just attached it there. I think you'd seen all of this. I know the video was only yesterday for you guys, but it was last Thursday, I think, for me. So I apologise if something is being repeated here. I worked the bottom, finished stitching it all, added heaps of little rocks and pebbles over to this side. Then where the join of the page is, the spine, I just left it at lots of knots and some of the texture that was there when I sort of collaged it together. A couple of little pebbles again. The pebbles sort of bulk it up a little, so if I stay to the side, we can sort of deal with that extra width. Stitched all those down, and that's about it. So I'm calling this piece finished. That's our mossy forest floor. So the next prompt is the bird. So I've got a couple pages here left that we can work on. They're not a spread like that, which is okay because I want to use some tissue paper again, the napkin again, so it won't hurt to have them separate. So let's pull that out. So this will be a spread for the bird prompt. I still haven't done Lazy Summer Days. Gosh, I'm running out of book, aren't I? Might have to slow down on this double page spread business. It doesn't matter, I guess, if I don't get that one prompt in here, because I sort of feel like I've got this whole autumnal thing happening this side, and all my brights and the summer and spring is this side. And then we're sort of drifting into that hot summer, into autumn, and then we're now into the browns. So I guess if I don't have that prompt, it probably would take a little pressure off me that I don't have to try and catch that one up, because I still have the other journal. We'll see. We can always add a flip out, you know, insert a page so it flips out. We'll see. All right, let's have a think about this birds. This is the inspiration I have. In autumnal tones, I picked this up as I walked back to the desk. I thought maybe it might work. This is the little bird napkin that I've chosen, and my thoughts were to stitch him as well. So not on the napkin, we'll leave him as our inspiration, but stitch another version of him. The other thing that I really like and want to work is the berries. Being Edith Holden tribute, she has a lot of berries in a book, so I want to have a look at those as well. So that's a definite somewhere. I found this in the cupboard. Now, the shape of these guys and that guy is pretty good. So if I was to reproduce the bird in a stitched version somewhere on this page, I could use that as my outline. So that's the first thought. Now let's just have a look down these berries. This is one that I was using in my journal making days. So there could be missing pages that I'm sort of wanting to have a look at. Berries. Yeah. So I think I want to do something with berries as well, with the bird. She has a lot of birds in her work, doesn't she? Berries. Yeah. More berries. Okay, so I'm thinking all sorts of berries. They shouldn't be too hard to stitch. Oh, look at the mushrooms. Oh, I should have had a look at this before I did the page, but I think I'm pretty much got my head around toadstools. Yeah, I sort of feel like this side of that journal is all of these tones, to be honest. I have a feeling that I will not be able to get Lazy Summer Days in. And to be honest, if Lazy Summer Days was me, I'd be thinking gardens, plants, flowers, birds, all of the above. So, yeah, that's it. All right. Now, the other thing I want to have a quick look through before I make a decision on that stamp being the thing is see if there's a bird in here that could be used to stitch. Okay, there's you. It's a bit of Tim Holtz fabric. So I'll pull it out. It's a bit moody. Oh, look at you lot. The wrong colours. That's not bad, but this is off of an old pillow slip. Imported little birds. I like you. Why do I keep drawn to you? It's not much fun if they're already stitched. I really felt like stitching a little bird. Got a heap of them there. Oh, I like that. No, it's too green. I just glanced over to my inspiration here. Right. Hello. You could be altered. Wouldn't take much to bring yellow in here, a bit of white, blue across the top of his head, yellow right through the bottom. I wonder if I could alter him. I like that he's on. This little fellow was gifted to me at one of the retreats. I'm thinking you are not a bad specimen. So if this little guy was, say, up on the top of the first page, looking down to this little guy, and then we work back and maybe reproduce some of these leaves to some degree with berries and sprays. I don't mind that idea. What else have we got? This is a panel with heaps of little birds on them, but they're probably a bit small. So we've got little itty bitty birds. I guess if we need, so there's strawberries in there. If we need some additional characters just to, you know, when we're collaging, we could look at bringing some of these little fellows in because they're a good size to be a secondary bird. They're too bright. Oh, I love this fabric. This gives me great bird shapes. Oh, look at you. Oh, hello. Who are you? Oh, no, it's a different. Very similar shape. I might not do those. They've got that Christmas wintry feel, so I'm going to just keep them for now because you never know what the prompts will be. What's this? Oh. Susanna. This is from those packs of fabric. Let's have a consider. Oh, some owls. I heard an owl the other night. So my journal for, there's pins in there. Let's get those out of there. My journal that is this area, my seaside journal, I was thinking of doing an owl. And I had a feeling I had some, but I don't know what owl I heard because it was dark, but I could hear him. So I'm thinking we're going to work an owl into the next journal. Butterflies. another little bird. I've worked him so much, I won't be doing him again. So let's have a play with our fabrics. Do we want that Tim Holtz? No, I'm thinking, I'm thinking not. All right, so I've got 2 pages. Alrighty, our little bird. So let's get him. He's a definite, and he needs a mate. So let's get rid of this backing paper. Just push down those little dimples. We'll release the layers. Because remember I was telling you that that's how the factory join all the layers together, by putting that little dimpled edge there. It just sort of brings it all together. So if you push them down flat on a corner, you can very easily separate the piece. All right. Grab my mat because I'm about to get messy. And using my wet glue pen, isn't it a beautiful image? It's a really pretty napkin. I'll come from that corner. I sort of like the shape to be on the angle. And with that, we separate. Well, maybe not. So he's going to be overseeing the whole piece. I wonder if I should just do 1 page. Oh no. Go with your instinct. I feel like he needs might shorten it there. I don't want that leaf going into the spine. So let's pretend that leaf doesn't exist. We'll leave it there for now in case we want to have it pop up somewhere else. We can always attach it to a piece of fabric, and then it becomes a handy little element. Okay, that's that little guy. Now this straight edge, I think we'll use the straight edge on there. And I'll bring fabric up into here to hide that straight edge, but it can stay there for now, I believe. I'll just centre him a little bit. Lift him a little bit. You can bring fabric down through here and fabric up through there. Now, the second bird. I do like the look of that. Sort of matches, doesn't it? It's like he's way in the distance and he's up close. Would I need to then stitch him similar? I don't think so. I think the problem with this little guy is he is completely different. So I think that's why my mind said, well, you're going to have to stitch him to match him because he looks completely out of place. Where this guy, it sort of feels like he is working. And what I could do is thread paint this, and then whatever scrappy fabrics came through here, and it would be pretty easy to get some berries in here. They don't exactly match the tree, do they? Maybe some berries could be worked down here. I don't know, guys. I think he's a definite to be attached. I might just bring him down a little bit. Okay, just thinking. I'm going to attach this little fellow first because he needs to dry and he can have collaged elements coming towards him, and maybe that will be where the berries come in. But let's get him on the fabric. And that gives me a moment to think. Hope you're all well. I am good. A little bit of news on Fudge. He's okay, but he's not doing okay. We took him to the vet, as you know, for a nail clip and a teeth clean. And before they book you in for such surgery, they just do a bit of a health check. And that then tells them to, you know, is it safe to even do an anaesthetic, something like that. So Mr. Fudge has some blood work done, and we discover that he can't go under anaesthetic because he's in a stage where his kidneys are shutting down. So Mr. Fudge is at 25% kidney function. So it was all a little bit sad. Poor old Fudge. It does sort of explain a few things we've noticed in the last month. So unfortunately we couldn't do a full anaesthetic, and so they decided, because he was so gentle and such a gentleman, she took him out the back and was able to clip all of his claws. He just sat there. She tickled his chin and he just sat there. He has been a feisty little bugger many, many times at vets, but he sat there. He was really chilled. He's so chilled these days since Casper's no longer around to torment him. He's just a completely different cat. So she also opened his little mouth and was able to descale some of his teeth. Not all, but most of them. I think she missed one, to be honest. She did really well. He did really well. So he come back in, and the senior vet followed and wanted to say hello. And I thought, oh, why have we got another vet in here? This looks a bit ominous. But all they wanted to do was just say hello, because he wouldn't believe that the cat, Fudgy, was as old as we said he was. And we actually had his birth certificate with, so we were able to say, yeah, look, he is. He's going to be 18 in March. And they said he is just in fantastic condition. So met the senior vet. He was lovely. And pretty much they've said that Fudgy has anywhere from 6 months to 12 months. It really depends on his body and how quickly his kidneys say, you know, that's it, I'm not doing anything. And once that happens, the toxins build up, and that's sort of the end of the road. So, gee, this video's got real depressing, hasn't it? It's part of life, unfortunately, for pussycats. Kidney failure is pretty common. So, yeah, what he did get, but I think I've mentioned a few times that the back end of him is quite weak. So when he walks, he tends to sway a bit because he's got not a lot of control over his back legs and that. Well, she was telling me there's a new drug on the market that helps the nerve endings for cats with that condition to sort of bounce back a lot. It's a needle once a month. It $28. So we were like, yeah, let's do it. So she's given him this needle and she said within 2 to 3 days, you'll see him stand up properly. His back will be level and his back legs will be a lot stronger. That will reduce a lot of pain and it will allow him to clean himself properly, you know, just bend and manipulate his body. So we did that and you would not believe it. By the time we got him home, he'd gone from being very slouchy and weak looking at the back to standing tall and running along. Like, just unbelievable. So I can't remember the name of it, but boy, what a miracle that was. So we're just going to keep an eye on him as that particular nerve drug wears off. We'll just pop back and get him another needle. I really want to clean that. We'll get him another needle and that'll keep his back end strong. I'm just going to moisten this cloth, guys. Yeah, so a quick jab in the bum lifts his bum up and he's walking a lot less painfully, and living his best life. So that was a positive. It was lovely. By the time we got him home and he's trotted out of his cage looking like a normal cat and not like a little old man, we couldn't believe it. So that's been lovely. So in the meantime, I contacted my best mate, Marianne. At the time we got Fudge and Casper from the same lady because she had 2 litters of pussycats. Hang on, guys. Yeah, she had 2 litters of Burmese cats. Casper's sister, Mia, was purchased by Marianne's family for her mum. So Casper and Mia were siblings, but we found out that Mia was actually put down by Marianne's mum a week ago. She had kidney failure. You won't read about it. So that's the 2 older ones. And then 6 months later, we went back and got Fudge. Marianne came along and she left with Fudge's sister, Cookie. So Fudge and Cookie. Cookie is showing signs of kidney failure because when I was telling Marianne what the vet had shown us and told us, and she was like, wow. She said, I need to get mine checked. And Cookie is in the same stage of kidney failure as Fudge, so they're siblings. And then they went back and got Cadbury out of another litter. Now Cadbury, he would be 6 months younger again. So there's every 6 months we seem to acquire some Burmese in our immediate circle. So Cadbury, he also went to the vet with Cookie and he is in kidney failure as well. So it's going to be a really yucky 6 to 12 months because there's 3 remaining Burmese out of the 5 that are in late stage kidney failure. So yay is all I can say. Won't that be a great period of time in all of our lives? So on a more positive note, because Fudgy's looking at me going, what are you worried about, Mum? I'm all right. Isn't it amazing? Oh, to be oblivious. That is attached and that will dry, this little fellow. I'm really liking this. I think it just complements beautifully for that double page spread. So what I might do is we need to have a think about berries. We also need to get some background fabrics into position. So I've got my background. This little guy's gone for now. He just doesn't need to be needed. Do we keep the background very neutral? I'm thinking so, because otherwise it can overpower your piece. Got some beautiful fabrics, but I don't know. They're so plain. Neutral for a reason, but Maybe I need to go further afoot. All right. No, I'm just thinking, guys, I still have a bit of the doily sitting here that we used from the previous page. I also have that, but I just feel like this background is, it's sort of not the right colour, is it? Yeah, I need to find something. Maybe lace? Where's the lace? Actually, let's have a look in the Japanese fabrics. The thing about the Japanese fabrics in here is we can get often texture, but still neutral. Let's have a little flip through, see if there's anything down there. No. Nope. Nope. No. I don't even mind that. No. It's not Japanese. Goodness sakes. I might pause the video, guys. I need to go rummaging to find some colours that sort of work with it. Maybe even a soft pink. All right. I'm going to pause this and I'll be back, guys. Okay, guys, I'm back. Now, what I've grabbed is just a box of scraps. There has to be something in there. I've still got my plains nearby if I think I need them, but I think there should be something in there. For a start, I can see a bit of those shorts, the camel colour, so that feels like there's something. The other thing that was sitting on top is this piece of fabric. Now, this was gifted to me from Tracy, Aussie Tracy, had used this in one of her Journal of Stitchery pieces. It's a linen that she picked up at Spotlight, actually. And it was just beautiful the way she had stitched it. And she had a scrap that she gave me. So I like the look of this to actually work in with the bird. So I'm just going to put that there for now. Little bird is still drying. And what I was thinking with this is I stitch the little berries with some red highlight very carefully, because you can stitch into your napkins when you've attached them, and maybe even stitch into those leaves a little bit and then collage back to it with some of this and then stitch into these. So that's where I'm thinking with that. This little one here just needs padding out with some bits and pieces. So let's just grab a bit of fabric. And see what we can do in the way of collaging around it. I don't mind text. That flower's a bit chopped off, so we can either complement it and just have it so it is there, but then another flower joins. Or if we find something, it's gone completely. I'll keep that out, golden colours. I like the look of that. Blues, too much blue. Like flowers like that are okay because they can be stitched to change colour, but I don't think I need to because I've got choice. But if you had, you know, limited bits and pieces, if we, I just sort of feel like I need a bit of blue. Why is that? There's a, must be because this fabric's sitting here looking at me, and then that. See, look, we've got something happening there. Get rid of that. Don't need that. Don't need that. That. I love that fabric too. But I don't think I know. I've only got little areas. Like I've got so much fabric here. Don't mind a little bit of ton. Look, there's a cutout flower. pinks, but no. Here, hello. You're good. Right, you're good. Another cutout flower. What colour are you? Oh, you're all right. Do we go in again and see what else is down in the bottom? Don't think I need to. One more little rummage through. There's another one of those. What have we got here? Gosh, the projects of the past. We're not bringing pink in. Is that where that flowers come from? I don't think I need it. Don't think I need it. Bit of rust. Bring that out. Okay. That's a dyed fabric that'll go into another container. I'm slowly trying to organise my palette of fabrics. Maybe we do something with these yo-yos to pick up that. Let's have a look at these flowers. What's in this that can... See, we've got blue in his head. This blue business is really... Move it out of the way. Can you guys see? Let's get it. What if we fussy cut out a piece of this fabric? See, then that makes sense with this blue here. I might. Okay, we've got a flower. Let's get that right up into the corner. So if that was cut there and down there, around there, that would be a pop of blue up there. We can take it. Where's my scissors? We're onto something, guys. Scissors. We're not onto anything because I don't have scissors. Oh, for goodness sakes. I've got plenty of scissors, but they're never where I need them. Okay. Let's fussy cut out this up here. Bring it down a little bit, and that will become the corner. Another pin that's useless. I'm having a throw the pins out girl because they're no longer servicing your needs because they're blooming blunt. I think I want that there. Just going to pin that to make sure that I get my top edge piece straight. So now I can do that and trim it. And I'll go a little bit past my work because, as you know, the more we stitch, the more things pull in and wriggle around. I'll just trim that off. Okay, so we've got now this piece coming in. I might trim that back a little and make it look a little bit more organic. Hopefully not too much. Yep, that's all right. That leaf can peek out a fraction more, but are going to bump into. Sorry, not even finishing my sentences, am I? I'll do that. I really would like that leaf on top, but I think I will sacrifice it. And there's a funny little gap here, but I think we can bring in some lace or something. That's nicely within the perimeter, so I can stitch into those blue flowers. This is turning into a real slow stitch piece. That flower is staying or going? I think it's going. But I need to disguise it. Now the workmen in the shed are going to fire up their power tools. Do I come down more? I'll just soften that corner. It sort of looks a little bit too, we want it looking like it's fray and organic looking if it's going to stay on top of the background. What I'm thinking is, where's that fabric? Is there any more blue flowers that could be taken? That one there. Let's just fussy cut this little guy out. I know I've got more of this fabric if I need to go hunting. But if we can get a few little blue flowers in addition to that piece we've just put down as potentially build up any gaps with a bit of three-dimensional texture. See, things like that. It's a bit big. I really only need one of those. So what about up there? No. What if it went in like that? That sort of feels like it makes sense. Especially if I hug that leaf, it looks like its extension. Yeah, that pushes him back. It gives me a little splush of blue higher on the piece. I do need to get something coming over the little bird's head. So let's have a look at what about that? Might be too fussy. These little buds might be able to disguise. Yeah, that's not bad. That comes to there. Just trim that a little bit. It's amazing what you can piece together out of. That just tilts a little. See, we really only have that much pink to disguise. So if that little bud tucked in there, it could go on top. Just get rid of that straight line. It could go like that. It could go underneath and come out like that. Yeah, I like that. Just with a little bit of fiddling. That little bud. I could even extend it past and find a leaf. If there's a leaf, not really. Is there a nice chunky, there's one bud. Let's just trim this bit out. So I don't even mind those white flowers instead of the bud, because white flowers in a little cluster like that could lead to other stitched white flowers. Let's do them separately. I just sort of get a feel for the size of the element you need to patch. We'll call it patching. You've got your big piece in there, but it just doesn't quite fit the design that you're working on. So you're patching together some bits and pieces to bring it cohesively together over a space that you need it to be over. There you go. There's a definition for you. Okay. So we've got the single bud, which now tucks in there and comes up like that. I don't mind that. Or we bring in some white little flowers, which picks up those little guys. No, they're just not quite right. Maybe we bring in those little guys up there. So if that's trimmed back, yeah, that's what we're going to do. We'll put the white little flowers up there. That then gets rid of this messy leaf design. Yep, that's what we're going to do. So we're going to be brave and we're going to trim that. We're going to extend our design across that top. I can then stitch them, and I can do, that one got cut, but I think I could probably do some stitching in there and increase them. So we've got a bit of a white flower opportunity now. So let's pin that. White flowers there, blue there. Gosh, I'm creating some work for myself here with this. Typical. That there. Okay. And that is the top piece, of which I could trim it even more if I need to, but I'm going to leave it hang over for now. All right, so now we have a corner that looks like it's meant to be there. I'm going to leave these because they sort of make sense. I'm not a lover of him now because of all of this. So what could we do there? Do we just bring in some patchy pieces of fabric and build up a bit of a random collage at the bottom, which I'm sort of liking, to be honest. Just to have the shrubbery at the top and a little bit of feature at the bottom. I don't know. Oh, see, there's those. Same family, but different colours. I'm liking this idea. A bit of text. I like that. I like that. What else have we got? It's probably about it. I know I'd find more if I went looking, but let's just keep our palette. See, this just gives me an opportunity to put words. Oh, there's a leaf. Where'd you come from? Don't need you. Where's that camel fabric? A pair of shorts. Yeah, I like that. Got a bit of a gap here. Doesn't matter, like things like that doesn't matter, but it obviously is mattering because I'm fussing. Bring that in behind there. Then we're highlighting the fact that this is a different piece of fabric. Do we want to do that? Or do we want to enclose the overall artwork? I like that. There. There's a little flower on that. So I could stitch that too. Like it gives you an opportunity for something a little bit random. So maybe that goes there. That goes there. That to me looks like, I love the pop of the blue, but it looks like it doesn't make sense. So that's why I'm thinking that that little piece goes there. Let's just pin it. Do have a bit of a gap here, but that's not... Oh, you know what else I have that's been floating on my desk is I got a little note here from Rachel with the last pack of fabric, and it's just been sitting. Maybe I'll save it for the owl piece. It's just sitting here, and I thought, well, I could work. There's another one somewhere too that I've kept, and they'd be good to pop in with this journal because, you know, makes sense, doesn't it? I might lift them up a little bit. All right, let's pin this. So thread painting, I will go. These little morsels down the bottom will just have some decorative stitching on them. Might just pull that down a little, have that piece floating. So the prompt for the little bird is looking pretty good, I'm thinking. So it'll be invisible stitch it all down to get rid of these pesky pins. I do need to check the size of this too, because I feel like I've snuck off the page boundaries a little. See, when I went to my cupboard where all my fabrics are all lined up neatly in fat quarter sizes and things like that, I couldn't see anything. And it was like, then I'd see a lot of everything, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm going to pull out 20 million pieces of fabric and not get what I want out of it. So I was like, go to your scraps, girl. And just grabbing a box of scraps gave me lots of options with a bit of everything, and then it didn't feel so overwhelming. Does that make sense? That's getting a little bit big. I think I need to trim this side. All right, guys, we're going to just get rid of that and that. We're going to I really like this side, and I'm going to trim it, I think, through here. And then I can get this right into the spine. Get that up into there. Yep. Okay. pins. So the colour palette, you know, where we're adding different clusters of things to create a bit of a sketchbook colour palette feeling. In this one is going to be these fabrics. Just going to bring that in a little bit. I feel like it's going to get lost in the side. Most probably. Let's just trim that now. Let's get the journal back and just test our sizes. We've got a nice straight edge right into the crease. We're right on the bottom. We're at the top spine, and the spine, we need to go right back to that wadding. Okay. It's amazing how bigger your piece gets without you sort of realising when you're collaging. All right, so it's got to go right back to that spine, to be honest. Don't know if I'm game to do that just yet. Let's just trim there. Because I don't mind a little bit of hanging out fabrics. So that's in the spine, it's still hanging out. It's hanging out a lot. No, I need to go back a little bit more. Don't want to lose his tail. That'd be disappointing. I just take, must be a bit crooked too. Let's just take a little bit more off. There we go. Now it's really crooked. Oh my goodness. You're probably thinking, don't cut any more, girl. She'll be right. It might give me the opportunity to put a crocheted edge in the book as well. It gives me those hanging out bits. There we go. Yeah, all right. We're good. And we have an opportunity now that the design has come back a bit to have some lace to float the page on eventually. So let's get that flat pinned and the start of invisible stitching. So there we go, we have a page. Little bird's still drying there, so there's no rush on him. But what we'll do before, gosh, that's a big needle. We don't need a big one like that. Just a little fine one. What we will do is potentially have a look at some collage fabrics around him too. But first, let's get a little bit of stitching done. So my job for my homework will be embellish and stitch. Gosh, that's plenty of work, isn't it? Oh boy, oh boy. It's all good. Gives you something to do, doesn't it? Just whip down this side. The main thing is to get all these little bits and bobs down. Then we'll go through some threads. put together a bit of a colour palette, so then I've got what I need to stitch. We'll see how we go for time. Just whipping around the outer edge of this little piece that is in the corner. I probably won't do the thread picking because I've got threads everywhere, and I know the blue thread is sitting on a bench over there, or the greens are elsewhere. What I'll do is when I get a moment to sit and actually stitch, I can then just take them to the couch with me and, you know, pick away at it all. I might trim that back a little. It's just a little bit too much of the base fabric. So I'm going to, and because I'll be stitching all those flowers, I might as well get rid of it now, because underneath there is a leaf that I would like to see and will stitch as well. So I might as well give myself plenty of that artwork. While we can. There we go. Rachel's put up a great video showing what to stitch when looking at your piece on some Christmas journal covers. So if you're new, go over and see Rachel's video. So Roxy Creations is Rachel's channel. If you're new and you're wondering, who is this Rachel we all talk about? I occasionally get a comment. It's hard because we just assume you all know who we mean, because it's like we're all on first name basis. So we go Rachel this, Sarah this, and you guys go, who is Rachel? So yeah, Rachel's video Tuesday was what to stitch when looking at a piece of fabric that you want to enhance with stitching. And she's doing a series of Christmas journal covers using her printed images, which if you fall in love with them, go across to her Etsy store and indulge yourself, because they are nice. So if you're new to this thread painting, or, you know, at least enhancing some work, I'd highly recommend that video. It's very good. She's got some Santas and things, and she's sort of worked their beards, their eyebrows, then gone down onto their jacket, the jacket of the little girl, just sort of picking key little areas to pop a few stitches in. And you can do as much or as little as you like. So I've pretty much just gone around the perimeter of that. I might dodge back over to here. I think I've missed. So yeah, of course, if you're new, I'm just doing a itty bitty stitch on the top, but I'm jumping all over the place on the back. And that's purely to get rid of the pins. There's nothing worse than you're concentrating on doing some stitches and then bang, you get a jab from one of these things. So it's definitely part of my process. It's, oh, here comes the Fudge. He was napping. Hey Fudge, what you up to? Pussycat? You'd be like, are we going to go and sit down on the lap? Excuse me. I'm just going to whip around that outer edge. That to me is sitting really nice now. One of those pages in this book had blue stitch flowers. Let me just grab it. Have I just repeated something I've already done? That would be right, wouldn't it? Surely not. Go back to summer. Back here. Ah, there you go. So a bit of a blue girl. Just beautiful. I love blue and the mustard together. I love colour too, and I love neutrals. Oh, love it all. Therein lies the problem when you're trying to narrow down colour palettes. That's why these prompts are great, because we've got a colour tone within the prompt. That little bird's nearly dry there. That's great, because we will have a fiddle with him next. Probably could trim that back, but there's a bit of pink there. I'll just soften that a little bit. Sort of got a bit of a gap there I'll need to address. But maybe when I do the stitching, I can extend this and create a bit of a flower, and it comes up and covers that. Yeah, that's what we might do. Maybe once I work out what is happening with these flowers, one of them comes up there. So now we're down into the fabric swatch zone. I'll be able to find some form of word or element that can go in there of the paper variety, which is through this whole journal. I think my little booklet things are here, actually. There we go. So not sure how many videos you'll see this week, because once again, I'm off to the farm. Had a very productive 2 days last week. Sorting and cleaning and organising and finding documents and working out who in the family they should go to. You know, birth certificates and of siblings to my parents, and birth certificates, confirmation certificates of parents to my parents, and great-grandparents to the parents, and I'm not really interested in, what's the word, is it genealogy, where you look at the family tree? But on both sides of the family, there's 2 cousins that are starting to show an interest in it. So I rang their mum and the dad of those 2 and said, you know, I've got these gorgeous certificates back in the day when they were, you know, really decorative. They're just sitting to the side of me. I should grab them. See, here we go, sidetracked. They're absolutely beautiful. Some of them were in frames, but a lot of them were just rolled up in a cylinder. And I said to my uncle on Dad's side, Dad's brother, he's the only brother, he's got 2 lads, and one of his lads is showing a real interest in the family tree. And I said, well, look, they might as well go to you and then across to your boys, because I don't have children. So if, heaven forbid, something happened to me, whoever does the cleanup probably would struggle to know what to do with all these beautiful documents. So I thought, you know what, I'm not going to just sit on them. I'm going to get them straight across to the family that has children. And my dad's brother, he has 3 lads as well. No, hang on. My dad's brother has 2 lads. One of them has 3 children. So I guess the family tree is there. So a lot of them are going to go across to those guys. And they'll be safe there. And then on my mum's side, where I came across things to do with my grandmother and my mum's deceased brother, and there's report cards, and there's you know, piano lesson certificates, and all sorts of gorgeous things. So I'm going to try and get that to that side of the family tree, where there's then generations of children there that potentially can keep them all safe and protected and things like that. I'm a branch of the tree that has no has no additional branches. So really, it's a bit of a waste. And it'd just break my heart if for some reason they got lost in the cleanup. So, yeah, got a plan for it all. I think I touched briefly on all this in Friday's video that I've already filmed for the Just Because quilt. So, once again, I apologise if you've heard this story. Hey, pussy. Okay, it's a bit puckery there, so let's get a little stitch in there with that pin. What's the matter, Fudge? He's looking at Gaz through the glass door, wishing he could be on the other side. I'm going to save this for another video because I think I have enough cut out here. So what I'll do instead is grab those certificates. Fudgy. Gosh, when the cat decides what the cat wants to do, what a palavery turn on that does happen. Nearly there. I've lost track of how long this video is. I'm pretty sure we were 20 minutes in when I went and got fabric. Now I can see another 40 minutes, so we definitely won't have time for that. That's another video. I might film it this afternoon and you can see that on Saturday or something. I don't know. Who knows? I'm not making any promises because my days are just all over the place. Got our last shipping container of stock coming into our Christmas stores in Brisbane. So there'll be a lot of paperwork with that. Oh my goodness. There we go. See, little bits too can then join it. Sort of help build up that interest. I sort of don't mind that. See, it's so hard to put the needle down, isn't it? Once you get started. Too funny. You know, at the end of the day, these types of little clusters don't even need a heap of decorative stitching. They're beautiful on their own, just with little clusters of fabric. There we go. Oh, puss cat. He really wants to get to Dad. You know what? And I'll open the door, he'll go out, he'll turn around and go, oh, Mum, you're up. Are you going to go to the couch? And I'll say, no, I'm going back to my desk. He will then go meow meow as the door closes. I think all I've got to do is just maybe run a stitch through that centre. How quickly the desk turns into a mess. Really happy with that page. Really happy. It pays to keep elements like birds and butterflies all together in one spot. So every time you come across a beautiful bird, whether it be embroidered or just a lovely bird, put him in a container with his mates. So when you have a project, they're all together, you get a lovely choice. Just replenish. I love how he's these apricot colours. If I was picking threads, I probably wouldn't even think to do apricot tones for the bird, you know. Oh, it's so good when there's an artist before you that puts in the hard work. You know what would be nice is that pink background from the bird to be seed stitched. Little itty bitty stitches everywhere. Gosh, there's some work here. That's all right. We got time. No, we don't. Yes, we do. Don't have to get it stitched by the next couple videos and into the journal, Corrine. We can just pick it up and stitch when we want. You guys are in no rush. Therefore, I don't need to be in a rush having a discussion with yous. I know yous are agreeing. All right, I think that's pretty good. There we go. Let's get the little bud stitched down. I think that the piece of fabric with the two little buds, so Fudgy's just gone into his toilet. And that's classic health issue problem. He'll have a big drink of water and then immediately go to the toilet. And it pretty much all just comes out. That's his kidneys not grabbing the water, holding on to it, using it to flush out his system. So he's building up toxins because he's too quick to go to the loo. Yeah, that's the sides. Poor Fudge. Okay, up to where that is. All right, so I do apologise if you're just hearing Fudgy go to the loo. Thanks, Fudgy. It's all good. Whatever. Yeah, Fudge, I can hear you. There we go. Everything is secure. Yeah, now he wants to have a lap. Might just stitch there. We will let that dry completely. It really needs a day to dry. I can feel it's quite cool. I've got my fabric that I really want to use with it. So, and it'll be another thread paint scenario. It'll pick up the blues. It'll work with this. So that shouldn't be too hard. Okay, that's everything secure. Let me just grab these certificates and I'll give you a quick little look. They're just gorgeous. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to say. This is where I've been going for little elements from the scrapbook. You know, they're little images, you know, that can be added to enhance the piece at the end. That's where I found the mushrooms, that little one. I'm not sure who this designer is. I've lost memory of all of those sorts of things. Like there's butterflies, stamps, even stamps are cool. Little stamp in there. The other one has little labels. That's where I've been pulling labels from for, you know, the piece. I don't even mind that. Flowers. Blooms. Anyway, getting sidetracked. Hi guys, I'm back just briefly. In the effort to get a photo for the thumbnail for the video, it forced me then to grab some threads. So I went to my greens and my camels and my blues and I just pulled out some wools. I think I'll do wool embroidery purely because when I flipped back to here, I used that there. So I'm going to stay within that sort of style of stitching and use these wools. So yeah, I just thought I'd turn the video on briefly just to show you what I'm going to, you know, use as my threads. This piece here, I'm actually going to film this next. So you will see this video on Saturday of how this piece comes together, and at least then they're both to the same stage. I can then have all the threads around me and stitch over the weekend and into next week. So that's the plan. You'll see this video Saturday. All right, guys, thanks very much for joining me, and once again, I'll see you later. Bye.